The 14th European Football Championship will take place in Poland and Ukraine. 16 teams, 31 matches, 450 hours of unforgettable play, and a 3-week football weekend. 4 Ukrainian cities, Kiev, Kharkiv, Donetsk, and Lviv, are getting ready to welcome more than 5 million tourists from every corner of Europe and the world. So Chad and Zach are heading out on a 3-week journey to learn everything about Ukraine. Hello, I'm Chad Brown. I would like to explain to you what's going on today. We are here in Kiev, not as presenters, not as commentators, not even narrators. We're just like you. Arriving in Kiev with no guidebooks, no friends, no nothing. This is the way you can explore Ukraine how it really is.
Hi, I'm Zach. Together, we're going to visit the 4 Ukrainian cities participating in the Euro 2012 Football Championship. We're going to spend 3 weeks in this incredible and unique European country.
Kiev is the largest city in Ukraine and at the same time the greenest capital in Europe. For every resident of Kiev today, there are 21 square meters of planted land, where, for instance, in Berlin, there are only 10, London 12, Riga has 9, while New York just 6.7. Kiev is one of the 10 largest cities in Europe. In addition, the capital of Ukraine is the cradle of the Eastern Slavic world and the former center of the once mighty nation-state of ancient Eastern Europe, Kievska Rus. The eternal city of Rome was built on 7 hills. Kiev was built on 21. Kiev is spread out on the river Dnipro, the 3rd largest in Europe. The Dnipro literally divides the city in 2, the right and left banks. On the right bank is the old city and the modern-day center. The left is mostly suburbs. A huge number of bridges connect the 2 sides, 7 motor bridges, 3 train bridges, and 5 pedestrian bridges. But not even this is enough, as from the moment the city awakes, its residents start to pour into the central part of Kiev almost in unison. The same process repeats itself at the end of each working day, but in other directions. So make sure you avoid rush hour when moving around the city. Right now, right here, I'm on Kreshchatyk. It's the busiest street in all of Kiev, and it's right in the heart of the city. It definitely has a unique rhythm, its own unique rhythm. It reminds me a little bit of an anthill. Seems like all the pedestrians are rushing from one place to the other. But if you stop and listen really closely, you might just catch the sound of the wind lost among the buildings. All the buildings on Kreshchatyk are constructed in a single architectural style. This is Kiev's Big Ben, which city dwellers sync their watches by and check how hot or cold it is. Opposite stands the nearly identical Central Post Office. It doesn't have a clock. Kreshchatyk, with the length of only 1 kilometer, cuts across 3 public squares. Here you can always get a sense of the national mood among public concerts and political demonstrations. With a sculpture symbolizing freedom atop a monumental column and gold leaf, Independence Square, often shortened to Maidan, is considered the very center of Kiev. The iconic Hotel Ukrainian comes immediately into view from the square. It is well known as one of the 7 Stalinist high-rises. I don't know if it's true, but they say that under the hotel there are just as many floors going down as there are going up.
In Europe, this part of the city would be called Old Town, and Podol really is ancient. The street we are on right now is called Andrei's Descent, although Kievites like to joke that it's not so much of a descent as a long uphill hike. That just depends on what side of the street you start from. Today, for me, it will be a hike. Andrei's Descent is a place of unmatched energy, and breathing in this artistic hub of Kiev, you may find yourself inspired to create something. The street is a living museum. On this street, Kievites have exhibitions, art festivals, and cultural celebrations. People come here to listen to street musicians and watch costumed performances under the open sky. Along the street, there are art galleries, exhibitions, theaters, and craft shops, while souvenir stands are set up all along the sidewalks. So if you want to buy something to remember your stay here, this is the place. This street inspired famous writers such as Gogol and Bulgakov. Here's the house of the Turbine family, where Bulgakov worked and wrote his famous novel, The White Guard. Midway up the street, wooden staircases go up on both sides. It's a little steep, but if you go up to the top, you can see an amazing view of the old city and the river. This is Richard's Castle, named in honor of Richard the Lionheart. It was built in the 19th century. The building was commissioned by a rich Kiev industrialist who died before seeing his castle completed. His widow oversaw the completion of the building, despite a shortage of materials, but didn't give the workers their pay. In revenge, they blocked up the ventilation pipes with construction waste and broken glass. And as a result, the building has groaned and eerily creaked nightly for almost 200 years. Understandably, none of the various occupants have stuck around for very long. The street winds far up onto the hill, where St. Andres towers over Podol. An Orthodox church in Baroque style, it was built by Italian architect Bartolomeo Rastrelli. Here I am at Sofia Square. This is the oldest square in Kiev. And from here, it's only a few minutes walk to Mikhailovsky Cathedral, the place where they first started doing gold leaf domes on Orthodox churches. That was the origin of this tradition in Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus.
This is a Kiev Prepechka. People line up from all over Kiev to get this every day. It's not a hot meal, it's not a snack. It's not even a hot dog. It's a Kiev speciality, Prepechka. Inside is a sausage, and this is fried dough. Really, really delicious. The original Kiev Prepechki are sold from a little hole in the wall here on Badan Khmelnychkovo Street. Up the street, a little from the corner of Krchatek. There's always a line here, but it moves really fast. A varied group of clients from all walks of Kiev life come here to buy a few for themselves and their friends. Although it doesn't look like anything special, there's something addictive about this doughy snack. So now, let's go look at the stadium. It's easiest to get to the stadium by metro, taking it to Olympic Stadium. Even if you don't know the local language well, or at all, pay attention to the TV screens in the metro, which will show the name of the next stop in Ukrainian and English. The Kiev Metro is a completely different world. People see Kiev as a collection of loud boulevards and quiet side street. But that's only the outer part of the city. There's an underground Kiev as well. It's a place with its own rules and its own life. Even the air smells differently here, and many residents love the metro, specifically for this smell. It's almost impossible to get lost in the Kiev Metro. There are just 3 train lines, and if you think ahead to print out or buy a map, there definitely won't be any problems. But if you suddenly find yourself lost, don't rush to find a way out. Every central station of the Kiev Metro is a work of art. Make sure you take a ride, as in contrast to Europe, you can spend a whole day on the metro having bought just 1 token.
I'm going back to Podol. It turns out that there's an easy and simple way to get back just by taking the funicular. The funicular is a specialized mode of transport, designed for the steep drop separating Podol from the rest of the center. But the Kiev funicular stopped being used for transportation a long time ago, and now it serves mainly as a tourist attraction. The main type of public transport after the metro are the yellow buses known as marshrutkas. This bus system is so extensive that it covers almost 90% of the city. Tram cars and trolley buses are less popular, lagging behind the marshrutkas in number and speed. It's about time to get a snack. In Kiev, there's no problem with that. There's plenty of cafes, bars, and restaurants. But today, I'm going to stick to something a little bit more familiar, McDonald's. It was here, at this McDonald's, that I had my first Ukrainian hamburger. It was delicious, and the same thing that I get in America. McDonald's is a place where you can feel at home. A familiar aroma, taste, and the smiles of the serving staff. My favorite is here on Pocztowa Plosha. On the summer terrace, you relax as the river breeze blows from the shore, drawing your glance toward the hills steeped in green growth and the gold of church domes. Even if you've made yourself a goal of sticking to local food, no problem. McDonald's does a week of Ukrainian food. Well, where else can you try a real Ukrainian hamburger?
Behind me is the Olympic Stadium. It will be the most modern stadium in all of Europe, but right now it's under construction. However, next year it will host the European Championship, and the champion will be decided right there in that stadium.
As you can see, the construction of Kiev's football, workers don't even stop for a minute. Day and night, 1,400 people work away. So pretty soon football fans will be able to see the stadium in all its new glory. The semi-transparent roof will protect 100% of the field and stands from rain and snow. By the way, when finished, this roof will be the biggest in the world. This epic stadium will be a huge milestone in Ukraine. And when it's ready, it'll be hard to stay away and harder to leave. Ukrainians really love football, especially here in Kiev. This is the Dynamo Stadium, the most beloved, convenient stadium in all of Kiev. It's definitely got its own charm. This is the field club for Dynamo Kiev, the same club that played the so-called Match of Death in World War II. In the summer and fall of 1942, Dynamo faced off against the Wehrmacht's teams. Dynamo won all 10 matches, and 5 of the Ukrainian players were shot for shaming the Reich. In May 2002, after the death of outstanding football coach Valery Lobanovsky, it was decided to rename the stadium in his name, as it was he who brought the club to the heights of European football glory. The stadium doesn't look much like a 5-star arena, but it does have a certain beauty. Hidden among the ancient trees of Mariinsky Park, Dynamo Stadium is surrounded by an aura of history and calm. Nearby, there are ticket booths and a team merchandise store. If you find yourself not far from the stadium, don't forget to enjoy some great views of the city. There are at least 2. One is left of the stadium under an enormous arc in the form of a rainbow, and the other is right off the stadium behind Mariinsky Palace. I recommend stopping into the nearby Museum of Water. You'll see a man-made storm, amaze at the largest toilet in the world, and get trapped in a giant soap bubble. And when you leave the museum, make sure you go up Lover's Bridge, which is absolutely covered with symbolic locks left by newly married couples. This area is also the headquarters of much of the Ukrainian government. Across from the park is the parliament and the cabinet buildings.
Ukrainians are extremely generous with their friendship and their hospitality. I've only just arrived in Ukraine, but I've already made some friends with some football fans. Today they've invited me to do shashlik, or Ukrainian barbecue. And I've decided to make the meat myself. All that's left is to buy it. There are plenty of stores in Kiev, and the largest operate 24 hours. At any time of the day or night, you can find practically anything. Whether it's food, clothes, alcohol, even down to needle and thread. At these places, it's easy enough to pay by credit card. But at the small shops and bazaars, you won't buy anything without local cash. Ukrainian bazaars are a special part of life here, where the variety of goods available reaches overwhelming dimensions. First, they'll feed you, then offer you their finest and freshest stuff, help you find what you need, and finally treat you to something tasty for the road. Here, each butcher sells their own meat, usually from one pig at the most. The pig fat is salt-cured and sold as sala, one of Ukrainians' favorite snacks. When choosing meat, an experienced Ukrainian will recommend first trying a little bit of the sala. If it's delicious and fresh, the meat will be as well. Try it, and don't forget to haggle.
We are currently at probably the most picturesque place in all of Kiev, right here on the Dnieper River. Across the river on that hill is the Pecherska Lavra. It's this ancient, centuries-old Orthodox holy site in Kiev. And if you look over here on the hill, you'll see the Homeland Mother. She's called the Rodina Mat, bigger than the Statue of Liberty. She's a giant, massive structure, man, with this sword and a shield in one hand. People live in her shadow. No one wants to think what would happen if this thing fell over, honestly. The statue is 104 meters high, with 2 observation platforms and a museum dedicated to World War II. If you like museums, then Kiev is definitely the city for you. It's possible to visit museums for 2 weeks straight without a break. One of them will definitely impress you. To give an example, have you ever seen a horseshoed flea? In the Museum of Micro Miniatures, there's a real live flea whose foot is fit with an exquisite golden horseshoe. Do you grow flowers in your hair? For the answer to that question, you stop in the same museum, which, by the way, is located in the Kiev-Pecherska Lavra, a major holy site of the Orthodox Slavic world. From the top of its 96-meter-high, 4-story octagonal bell tower, an incredible view opens up onto the left bank and the slopes leading to the river.
Well, I got everything we need for shashlik tonight. And I thought before sitting down for a long meal, I would take a walk. This is the Kiev waterfront, along the river Dnipro. By Euro 2012, the entire area will be redone with a 10-kilometer tourist walk and boats along the sides with cafe spaces and concert halls. Riverboats cruise along the river Dnipro by the waterfront, and one cafe boat will take you directly from Podol into the deep forest, a nature area called Pusha Voditsa. The largest footbridge in Kiev connects the Podol waterfront with Trukhanov Island. During the summertime, this island is one of the most popular beaches in the city, right after Hydro Park. Every day in the summer, 250,000 people pass through the turnstiles at the Hydro Park station. All of them are searching and thirsting to be entertained. And there are tons of things to do.
Now that I've built up an appetite, it's time to try some traditional Ukrainian cuisine here at the restaurant Chinook, belonging to the world map chain of hospitality.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Hello.
I'm glad to see you in our restaurant.
thank you.
And for the beginning, every time we have a little bit of the aperitif.
Okay.
And you can choose by yourself. In the middle is the Swedish vodka, 40%.
Right.
If you very lucky man, if you strong man,
Okay.
you can do it. Or light, very sweet orange liquor. What kind would you
I'll take
prefer?
the strong one.
Up to you, sir.
Yes, I'll take that.
It was his decision.
And then what do I do with this? That's
Yeah,
I can
it's
eat that
pickles.
afterwards.
They eat after.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So,
Come on.
Just me, only me.
Yeah, sure.
No,
but
not you.
in Ukraine, okay, I will
Yeah.
drink with you.
Okay.
In Ukraine, we have said like cheers. In Ukraine, it will be budmo.
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 Come on. Yeah.
Woo. Budmo.
Just enjoy.
Fans of delicacies and unforgettable treats have to try restaurants in the Mirovaya Karta chain. I've chosen Chinook, a restaurant and museum of everyday Ukrainian life. It serves generous portions of Ukrainian cooking. The interior has been made to look as much like a picturesque 19th century village as possible. There are spinning wheels here, sewing cloths, and even ceramic pots, which the original owners would use to bake meals for entire families.
Did you enjoy your restaurant? Did you eat here?
Very good.
What did you have?
Whatever we had was good.
Really? Whatever you had was good. Did you eat something?
We had soup,
Yeah?
very good. Borscht.
Did you have a salad?
We did. It was like a slaw,
Yeah,
tomato
yeah.
in it.
Yeah, tomatoes in it?
Very healthy.
Really?
Delicious.
So you had salad, borscht,
Yes.
beer, cake,
Cake,
coffee.
coffee.
Well, here I have the best chicken roll.
Oh, chicken.
The chicken roll that you served with us
Chicken
today.
rolls? Okay, chicken
Very
roll.
good.
Did you have borscht?
Of course.
Of course, borscht.
How
of
can you
course.
come to Ukraine and don't taste borscht?
That's what I want to know
Very
too.
good. Very good.
But
And the cake.
the cake and the cake.
Oh, really?
How can I live here without a gentleman?
Besides the delicious food using recipes from every corner of Ukraine, the restaurant offers a large selection of homemade liquors, which are made right here.
Come on. Something for the beginning. We have goblets from the freezer, as you see. So we'll drink the strongest vodka in our restaurant.
Okay.
This is manpower vodka.
Okay.
It will be a little portion, but it's very good before the soup. Because in 1 minute we will have a soup, I think.
Okay.
So it's 45%, but I hope it will be okay for us. because we're real men.
Okay, so
Yeah?
45% is normal?
It's normal. It's 40. This is strongest one, so it's 45.
Want 5 more.
So the first rule. There are 3 rules how you can drink it. The first rule is you can drink it as a shot drink, not some part of it, but shot drink first. The second, not to eat some appetizers after it, just to wait several seconds. And the third rule is, after drinking, don't speak during 15 seconds. I will count 15 seconds, and you will check your feelings, how it's coming here, 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 or sometimes there, different ways. I want to ask you, well, drink a little bit, and what's word we must say before?
Budmo!
Budmo! Hey!
Hey!
Come on! So, and now you have 5 types of pork, different. Popular Ukrainian salo, we have name. Yeah, let's taste it. After what? After budmo.
Fantastic.
And now, soup. It's mushroom soup in the bread.
Wow. All right. Hot. That's even better than I expected. Delicious. Fantastic.
Just enjoy your eating.
Vareniki. They're kind of like raviolis or dumplings, but they're not. They're vareniki. This is Ukrainian food. And the one special thing about them is you can put just about anything you want inside them, a multitude of fillings. This one has cottage cheese. That's correct. Let's have a try. Say, look at this. That's what it looks like on the inside. Delicious. Here I am on the top of Bald Mountain. It's about a 15-minute metro ride from the center of Kiev, and then a couple minutes walk to the base of the mountain. Here they say witches hold their Sabbath. And we think if we're lucky and we cook the meat right, we may catch a few supernatural guests. But first, I'm gonna go say hello to my friends. Hey! Hey! Hello, my friends. Hello, how are you? I'm great, man. Cheers. Cheers. Woo!
From the top of Bald Mountain, you can easily see the left bank of the Dnipro River. That used to be the edge of the Chernigivska province, which students would get to via the Tsepnoy Bridge. Why? In Kiev, university students were forbidden from entering taverns and bars on punishment of expulsion. But in the neighboring city, be my guest, have fun. In the 1860s, the Russian imperial powers decided to build a fort, the new Pecherska Krepest. From that time, Bald Mountain was off limits to civilians. It was encircled by barbed wire and guarded by watchtowers. People whispered rumors about digging out the mountain, deep underground corridors. Those guards don't stand there for nothing. And really, why did they build that castle? What went on behind its walls? Actually, the castle grounds were used for executions of state criminals. Later, rumor had it that the souls of hung men wander the walls of the fort at night.
So we have our meat that we bought at the market today, which I've cut up into small pieces to put by 4s or 5s on the skewers, which they call shampur. And the recipe I have is very simple. I just take a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, marinated in lime for about half an hour before we cook it, and then put it on the fire.
shashlik is ready. And it smells like victory.
Nice. What is it?
Oh, well, as every time we're waiting for you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm satisfied now. It's time to check out the nightlife.
At night, Kiev doesn't sleep. If you want to go dancing or just listen to some music, you'll find what you need. There's an overwhelming number of clubs in Kiev. The most popular, of course, are in the center. If you want to meet beautiful girls, check out Patipa or Deluxe. The Arena Dance Club is the center for all the trendy and fashionable partygoers in the city. Arena can satisfy the demands of even the most demanding, exacting guests, as long as they have deep pockets. For slightly older clubgoers, I'd recommend Radio Hall, where they host 80s nights on a regular basis. And if you just want to relax after wandering all day in the city, check out Art Club 44, where every night live bands play jazz, rock, or Balkan-style music.
After all of my experiences and all of my impressions today, I really get the feeling that I get to know Kiev. It's a city that's alive. And I can imagine if I would spend more time here, all of the great experiences that I would have. Welcome to Kiev.
I will tell you why a stone widow has been weeping for over 200 years. And why you have to visit one Ukrainian village where time stopped 1,000 years ago.
We'll catch the biggest fish in the river Dnipro and pick real and edible wild berries and mushrooms.
We will jump from a bridge and land intact, and strike up for the highest place in Kiev to show you the entire world.
I'll show you that Lviv is just as beautiful and magnificent as Vienna. Just make sure not to mention Lenin or sing the Russian national anthem.
We will meet an incredible people, the Rusyns, and learn how to make borscht. And we will show you the most extreme city in Ukraine, Donetsk, where there are iron trees, the best stadium and the deepest mines in Europe. Taking a trip into hell, we will descend into the mine where the USSR tested a nuclear bomb.
And of course, we'll swing by the Ukrainian Côte d'Azur and fall down laughing in the capital of humor, Odessa. Don't forget about Kharkiv, the city with the largest city square in Europe, huge ambitions, and the largest bazaar of the old world.
And about Kazantip, the land of freedom. Danger, laughter, tears, incredible experiences that scared us and taught us something new. We went through it. You will see it.
Welcome to Ukraine.